doing business, and that she's great that she can do that not with a private sector company, but she can do it with a public sector company in the form of the government of the Bahamas. So if you have not signed up for My Gateway, please take the time to sign up today. The process takes about 5 to 6 minutes. We actually timed it when we were out at the food stores signing individuals up. And the shortest time frame was 94 seconds. The longest time frame was about 5 minutes and 13 seconds, I believe. And I will have you to know that the shortest time frame was done by an 82-year-old gentleman who told us just put it in the website there and he could take it from there. He sure did. So, challenge. Yes, so if you've not signed up, please sign up today. We do have representatives from the My Gateway team available here on site, I think until about 1 o'clock if I'm not mistaken. So if you want to have a conversation about what the sign-up process looks like, or you have additional questions about My Gateway, I believe the team is in place. I saw them peep in, Delise Lynch and Delise and Kimberlina. If you can just peep in again and wave, if you're not too far. Woohoo! So they are on site to help you with any questions that you may have. And if you wish to facilitate sign-up today, you just need to ensure that you have your NID card with you, an active email address, and we can take it from there. So I want to say thank you so much for having me, allowing me to drone on a bit with you guys. I don't know if you have any questions, but I'm open if time allows for me to take a few questions. If not, thank you so much once again, and please do enjoy the rest of the conference. All right, so I do see a few hands. Maybe I can take the questions first, and then
okay. My son is living in North Carolina. And I'm wondering, I know his passport is expired now. Could he use this to use passport, and how would it get to him? Yeah.
So if he has the E version of the passport, he shouldn't still have the manual passport. But if he's had the recent E-passport, then he can go on and he can renew services, renew his passport using My Gateway. What he will do is click the centralized collection center as his pickup point, and then he can provide you with a letter of authorization to collect it on his behalf. Now, let me just give my disclaimer. I do note that because of some risks that have arisen recently, the passport office they've been making it mandatory for persons to come into their passport office site to collect the actual passport from there. But I do know that if you send that query in, someone from our team can liaise with them so that they can kind of assist you with that process in terms of collecting on his behalf. If he's not been 10 printed, it may be an issue. If he's not provided his biometrics, it may be an issue. But we've been treating that one case by case.
I just wanted to let you know I signed up while you were talking for my driver's license.
Anyone else with a question?
Good morning. Good presentation, thank you. I'm happy to be part of this program so we can be educated on this digitization that's coming on stream. I know I tried with the notary, pay into my notary license, and it went through, but then something happened and it didn't work. So I guess there's some glitches there that to be sorted out. So that will be worked out also. Okay, super. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. The query,
They were gone. I mean, the race started, and the while the gun was being geared up, they were out the blocks. And so what we find is that a lot of persons they have the option of using both the Ministry of Foreign Affairs online service platform as well as the mygateway.gov.us platform. So when I spoke about a lot of us kind of holding hands closer together, those sorts of partnerships are ones that we're working on to perfect. So you would have the option of having that conversation with Ministry of Foreign Affairs or My Gateway. We work hand in hand in any event, and so I'm sure the information you receive from either side will be identical. I do note, though, that there's still a very active process in the consular offices in terms of renewal of the passport as well. So even if you do apply for the renewal of passport out of country, for the actual passport to be delivered, and I think there was a passport office reference on there. No. Yes, but they will utilize the consular offices as well in terms of the delivery of the actual passport to you. We are hoping to get to the stage where we can form partnerships with some of the courier companies in terms of those physical outputs that need to be shipped out of country. So that is a work in process as well. So I just wanted to clear that up a bit and make sure I provided the accurate information. So I don't walk out of these doors and get a call from passport office, CPA.
For the family islands, like how we live in Cricket Island, if we apply for the passport or whichever identification for the easy process, can you all just ship it to the administrator who is in charge of the island instead of coming to Nassau to collect it at the same day?
Yes. So we have started our conversations with the various administrative officers across the length and breadth of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have not gotten to Cricket Island, Athens, and Nassau just yet, but I will have you to know that you will not be left out. My grandmother is from Athens, God rest her soul, and she was a good woman. I am told I look just like her, height and all. So, and she was from Pestel, Athens, that only had 4 inhabitants. So I know what it is to ensure, and she always would say, yeah, don't leave us out. So yes, we've just not gotten there as yet. We've started conversations with Grand Bahama, Elizra, Abaco, and Exuma, and we are making our way down the chain.
Okay, one more question about the visas. Will you all be doing that as well?
So that is not our jurisdiction.
Okay.
That belongs solely to the United States of America. I have no authority to speak on that whatsoever.
Okay.
Yes, but I'm almost certain you will have to come to Nassau for that one.
Okay.
But you
Thank
can get your police certificate on my gateway to
Yeah,
assist with the
I know
application.
Yeah.
Good morning. Okay. Just about the driver's license, how does it work? If you go online and
you request a renewal, how do you get the hard copy?
So the hard copy you can collect from the centralized collection center. You select that option, or you can collect it directly from the stadium if you select that option.
I'm from the family island,
You're from which family island?
Grand Bahamas.
Grand Bahamas. So you should be able to collect that from Regency Center, I believe it is, with the road traffic department. Yes.
Oh, so if I,
But you have to make sure and select that, because we've had some issues with persons from Grand Bahama selecting the centralized collection center in New Providence.
Yeah.
And then we have to try and figure out a way to get it to them in Grand Bahama. So that's been a delay. So on that drop-down link, you should see the option for Freeport collection.
so I would make application online, and then go to the road traffic, they should have it prepared.
So when you make the application online, you just check your email. The email will send you a prompt when it's been processed.
Yes.
Then it's been sent to the center for collection, and then you can actually go and pick it up.
Okay, wonderful, thank you.
So I did also get a quick comment in the front, so just for the benefit of everyone. So on my gateway, currently, the applications that you make are supposed to be for yourself, not on behalf of someone else. We are in conversations with the various agencies to get there, where we have what we call a proxy service, where, so for example, my grandmother is 92, so she's not going to go on my gateway, to renew that. She would need a driver's license, she wants to drive, but maybe to renew her passport. So I may do that for her, but I have a power of attorney to do that. So persons just need to be aware that when you go on my gateway right now, you're making that application for you as an individual. There's even a peculiarity with the Registrar General's Department. So individuals cannot request copies of birth certificates for someone else unless they show proper cause. So if you're a mother and requesting for your child, or if you're requesting a marriage certificate and you want to, request that for yourself or your spouse, then yes. But before, pre-Dorian, you were able to get anybody's birth certificate. But Dorian has presented us with some challenges around fraud, identity, and data protection, and so they've had to kind of close that or restrict it a bit.
Good morning, everyone. I'm hearing all about this hard copy with the passport and everything else. Are we on the road to becoming paperless yet?
We are on the road to becoming paperless. That's going to take some time. So if we want to get truly paperless, we will need to have some systems in place, for example, that national identification system, because Adobe Photoshop and Photo Editor can make wonderfully beautiful certificates. And so we want to be able to ensure that whatever digital copy that you have has actual security built into it, so someone can detect whether or not it's fraudulent. But we are on the way to paperless. We are actually trying to implement 3 paperless services by the end of this year, and so you should listen out to our social media platforms for when that happens. Those are giving you sleepless nights, but it's coming. Thank you, Madam Media. Thank you so much. Great seeing you, Kendra. No problem.
Good morning, Nicole. I had applied for my daughter's police record. She's 16. And I asked my older daughter to do it.
That's up.
And it was saying that she has to go in person.
How old is she?
She's 16. They were saying that parent or guardian has to do it for, and I tried it. It wasn't getting anywhere, so I had to go and actually put in for in person.
So
Is there a way around that?
not just yet. So that actually highlights the beauty of our system. So because you would have been making the application for someone other than the profile account holder, the system is blocking it. So it detected it as a fraud, as a minor. So we're working towards, that's another reason for sleepless nights. We're working towards the ability for persons to make applications for minors, but do note that the area of law around child rights and child protection and custodial rights is very tricky. Plenty middle ground, middle room, and then we have some development in jurisprudence right now that's making it just a little bit more trickier than normal. So, but I believe that we found a workaround. So we will be engaging the Office of the Attorney General shortly with what we believe may be an answer to that problem. And once they've approved that legal framework, then we can start to build out to allow you to make an application for a minor. Yes. But currently, you're not able to do it.
Okay, I have another question. In terms of accessing database, for instance, if I go and I submit passport and ID card, driver's license, and even voter card to a government department, department on an application, will another department, if I go somewhere, will they be able to access that database as opposed to me having to give same information to different departments?
That is the state that we're working towards. So we would like for us to have what I will call loosely a centralized database. A centralized database that allows persons to see only the critical pieces of information. Now, when we get to the national ID system, that will make it extremely easy. But bear in mind that even though we are under one umbrella as, different ministries, departments, and agencies, for me to have access to this lady's information, I will still require her consent at every point of that process, every point. So when we move to a national ID system, it may be that we have information housed in one particular spot for her, but every time a ministry may require access to that information, we have to send and get her approval before they can access it. So we want to move towards that sort of centralized database. That will take some time, because in country we have a lot of anomalies. We need to fix legislation. We have about 10 to 15,000 John Smiths, and so we need to be able to identify John Smith from Auckland versus John Smith from Crooked Island versus John Smith from Aberfoyle. We also have a number of individuals who live on what I call partial identity, because they have a birth certificate, but they have like 10 different affidavits to accompany that birth certificate, because someone forgot that Tamar was spelled with a T, with a D, it should have been, and they spelled it with T, and then they added an extra E to Dillet, and then they took a T off for Dillet, and every time that happened, and I go somewhere, they ask me for an affidavit of verification instead of just fixing the original record. That's my pet peeve in country, so that was a sidebar. I moved away from professionalism. That's my pet peeve. But we have a number of individuals in that scenario, and so we will have to get our records to a point where we can actually rely on clean data.
Good morning, sisters. Like Miss Nicole and her daughter, I'm the opposite. I'm the daughter, and my mother is now my daughter. So I have to do everything for her. Last year I had to pay the house insurance, which I've been doing for her for a number of years. I had to carry law papers. I had to carry law papers just to pay her house insurance. Now, I was surprised when I went on to NIB. They said, she has to sign it. And by the time I did, it's diminishing. My problem with that is she can do that because the priest can verify that she signed it the best way she could. But what happens when she can't do that? So, but they telling me I don't need a power of attorney right now because I have all the documents to show that everything that she has is is coming to me because I'm the only one left.
So I would, still keeping my public sector cap on, I would suggest that you have a conversation with an attorney in that regard. Because I believe that some incorrect advice may have been rendered, but there is a power of attorney that you can have, particularly in
The
power of attorney.
the lawyer had told me that, but he said right now at this time it's not necessary, but I'm planning on going back to him
I'm
this year.
39 years old, and I have a power of attorney. My parents are donees. I have a power of attorney where my parents are elected. Both of my parents are transacting the business on my behalf in my absence, and vice versa. I have the power to do business on their behalf. It doesn't have to be tied to illness. I can have a headache one day, a really bad migraine, and my mom needs to go and do something because my boys are requiring it. So she has that document to me. I could be out of country and healthy and everything, but just out of country, not physically present to do something. And so in your situation, I think a power of attorney is necessary, particularly if you're the main person transacting and doing business. My grandmother and I have a close relationship, and like you, I'm trying to make her item, but there's still a power of attorney in the event that somebody else is transacting on her behalf.
Okay, because my son will decide power of attorney if anything happens to me.
So it's not even, I will put on my information now, so forgive me, counsel, but a lot of Bahamians, particularly Bahamian women, the power of attorney is not intended to only be a document in the event that something happens to you. It is also a document for business convenience. So if you own properties, you're a landlord, you have a number of bank accounts here and maybe on a family island, it's always advisable that you select somebody to act on your behalf, and you do so by virtue of the power of attorney. Or definitely somebody that you trust, and that's why I said I think she should speak with an attorney who can speak to her about the process around selecting who that individual can be and the terms and conditions of the power of attorney. But we don't have to give a wide general power of attorney to speak to everything. You can restrict it to just certain things that you know you may need assistance with.
Morning.
Provided this is a migrating question, you're not taking me down another road.
Yes, it is. I'm not sure if you put it up, but what is the age requirement? We have a profile.
18.
18.
Good morning. I think that one of the questions referred to insurances is my gateway, short insurances. My gateway, are you interacting or starting conversations with the private sector regarding, sharing of information?
So we started conversation with the private sector around collaborating for certain services. So you would appreciate that there are some government services that do have a private sector dependency. So for example, when you go to renew your vehicle registration, you need to ensure that your vehicle auto insurance is up to date. So we are having conversations for those steps in your government service that have to be dealt with outside of government to see how we can collaborate and have them a part of that process so it's seamless end to end. I'm not sure we'd be able to spring up those services within Q2, Q3 of this year. From where I sit, I'm not a policy maker, but from where I sit, it looks more like the very, very tail end of the year or early part of next year because there's quite a bit of legislative reform as well that may be necessary.
Okay, We're going to take our last question. We have representatives from My Gateway outside, and they will be with us until about 1 today. So we do want to save some questions for them as well. So we're going to take our last one, and then we'll wrap up. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I know you mentioned Inagua, and that's my island. So I was just wondering how soon, because we have everything on hold right now in Inagua because of trying to get this implemented. Do you have any idea where that window may just come into play?
So I believe based on the current project schedule, we should be in the Family Islands the majority of Q3. So I believe July to September, keeping our fingers crossed that Mother Nature is very favorable to the coming out of the Bahamas this year, given that she's already showed up over the last week or so. You know, it's time she could take a vacation now. You know, and we'll see in 2029 or so. But yeah, so we do want to utilize the summer months to because we will physically have to be on the ground with you because of some challenges there. And then I know that we are having conversations to make sure that your IT infrastructure in the Family Islands can handle it. Yeah. So, yeah. And then you have to make sure they have computers and stuff down there as well. There are some unique, in August good then, because there are some unique challenges that we have with some of the Family Island administrative offices.
Okay, I would like to call Mrs. Tony Hudson Bannister, the Vice President of Pearl Cathedral. And Sister, can you please come and make a brief presentation to Sister.
Good morning again, sisters. On behalf of the Anglican Church women in the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands, it is my esteemed pleasure to present this token of appreciation to you, Sister Damara Dillette, on a very timely and informative presentation. I'm sure that we learned so very much about the Gateway platform. And so it's about empowering the whole female. And so all of the information that you would have shared is well received. And we thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to be here with us today. And so thank you for making us all proud that women are doing extraordinary things in the community and coming back here to empower us. And so thank you again and continue to be blessed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Damara Dillette. Okay, sisters, we will be having our next speaker, which is our very, very, very own, and very own. It is the morning of very owns, which is good. So we are going to welcome immediate past president of Finance. Where'd she go? Okay, she's coming. So our next speaker is going to be presenting to us on constitutional reforms. She is actually the chair of constitutional reform, and so they've put together a document that, anyway, she'll tell you a little bit more about that. So let's welcome Sister Deirdre Clark Maycock as she comes. So if you can just give her a moment. Why don't we get up and kind of stretch a little bit? I like to sing. I'm really not good at it. And I really should stop. But I like it. So if you don't mind, let's get up. Let's stretch for a moment. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Okay, give me your favorite pickup song. Fast pickup song. Someone pop a favorite out for me. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna sing this. Give me your name. No, give me your name. Annalie? Okay, Miss Annalie Hyla say we singing This Is the Day. All right, y'all got your lusty voices going? On the count of 3, y'all gotta help me with this now. Don't leave me out here hanging. 1, 2, 3. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. Pick it up. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. You already sound glad. It's the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. You already sound happy. Conference 2022. That the Lord has made. We're meeting 2 years. It's gates with thanksgiving in our hearts. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. And I will rejoice for he has made me glad. It sounds like you're glad. He has made me glad. Y'all ain't sound glad. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. He has made me glad, and he has made me glad. I will rejoice for he has made me glad. The sacrifice of praise into the house of the Lord. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of the Lord. And we offer unto you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer unto you the sacrifices of... Come on, keep it going, keep it going. Church, keep church. What a mighty God we serve. Oh, he's mighty, he's mighty. What a mighty God we serve.
Almighty God, we sing it like he showed up for you. Angels bow before him, heaven and earth adore him. What Almighty God we serve. He is the King of kings. He is the Lord of lords. What's his name? Jesus, Jesus. Oh, he is the King. God is not dead. He is still alive. Oh, God is not dead. He is still alive. God is not dead. He is still alive. Even in my feet, he lay all over me. God is not dead. He is still alive. Oh, God is not dead. He is still alive. God is not dead. He is still alive. I said, even in my hands, even in my feet, he lay all over me. Don't get tired now. Conference 2022. Don't get tired. Let's lift the praises. What's next? The sun. Keep on the firing line. Keep on the firing line. Come on, I tell you all I can't sing. And I tell you all I can't sing. The firing line. Oh, you must fight. Brave against all evil. Yes. For run. No even lie behind. If you wait for God and the right, just keep on the fire. Oh, you must fight. Pray against all evil. Never, no even lie behind. If you wait for God and the right, just keep on the firing. Woo! Glory. Hey! Hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, I give glory. Hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, I feel better. So much better since I laid my burden down. Woo! Better, so much better since I laid my burden down. Don't treat me like they used to since I laid my burden down. Don't treat me like they used to since I laid my face down. Woo! Child, y'all get me all worked up here. My neighbor soon called the police. I was at church all by myself. Y'all past my house, I have revival going on all by myself. Praise is a weapon. How many of you know praise is a weapon? Yes, you can confuse the enemy, right? When everything look like it ain't nothing happening, and you still lifting up a standard of praise, the enemies be looking like,
She done gone crazy. Why she's still praising? This is a weapon of destruction. And so we give God thanks for everything that he's doing. You all hear we going digital? You hear that? You only need one document. No passport and voter's card and birth certificate and all kind of things in your credential. Right. One document. Ain't God good? Yes. All right. Now, y'all, let's settle down. Settle down, please. In the back. We need some quiet. We're going to talk business at the legal minds. I see all the lawyers scurrying around, so this must be very important. We have big wigs in the place, and they've come to make the presentation. So let's settle down. Let's welcome our chair of constitutional, big words, the constitutional chair, immediate past president of St. Anne's, Miss Deirdre Clark Maker. And now she's moving away from the... Okay. So we're ready to begin. All right, let's welcome her as she comes.
Good morning, everybody. I know you guys are excited to be in this constitutional committee meeting session, right? Because what y'all want? Change, right? Yeah, a little bit, I hear you. Well, anyway, before we start, I just want to say a little prayer. We've said prayers, but you know, you always like to begin the session with prayer. And I just want to say, come Holy Spirit, fill the hearts of your faithful, and enkindle in us the fire of your love. Send forth your Spirit, and we shall be created, and we shall be renewed. Amen. Thank you. Father, before we go, Father God, I thank you very much for allowing me to be able to speak to you ladies on our constitutional proposal. And before I commence my presentation, I would like to advise you that you had a very good team of ladies who worked on this constitutional amendment, and I'd like to introduce them because guess what? They are my support today. So ladies, to your right, I'd like them to stand as I introduce them. We have President of the Most Holy Trinity, Michelle Wynn. Could you stand, please? You have Ms. Elizabeth Carey, President of the Poe Cathedral in Freeport, Grand Bahama. She's posing for them. And you also have Michelle Fox, who is from St. Agnes. And also, someone who's well known by all of us, Vincia Hall from Holy Cross. Now, and we also had a very esteemed lady in our midst. You know, she's ex officio on all of these committees, and that's our president. I just want to thank you for supporting us and giving us direction. Now, I have my colleague. She's all the way from the Office of the Attorney General, and she's here to give you support as we speak on this constitutional amendment, and that's Ken O'Leary. And when I finish, one of my newest members, ACW of St. Anne's. Y'all can hear me, eh? Oh, I'm so sorry. Ken Ranieri. Kenrah, not D-A-H. Thank you. See, people always call him a Kenrah, okay? So thank you very much, ladies, for your patience and for your parents, actually, because we had to try to get our PowerPoint on the screen, and that was a bit challenging. Before I even start my presentation, I hope each of you, I saw a lady walking around with a constitution, giving out constitution. Now listen, this is the first time I've seen them giving away constitution, so if you didn't get one, you're luck, because I had to pay for my own, okay? Well, you see, that's, and guess what? Well, you got it free, right? So you know today you have the old Constitution, because hopefully by the end of the day, I want all these delegates to say yes, okay? Now, also, you should also have been given a leaflet, right? Let me preface that first. Only presidents will be receiving this leaflet, and that because only presidents are able to vote or make a decision on what is being presented here. Everything that's being done today is at the preview of the presidents, or the discretion of the presidents. Now, we in March of this year sent a letter to every president, every branch. In January of this year, we sent a letter to every president in our council for their canvassing of their branch if there were any amendments necessary to the Constitution. And I would like to say that out of all 34 presidents or branches, we got only 6 responses. And I hope that's not an indication of your interest in the Constitution. But in any event, I think based on the information that was received, there was a pervading thread or concern that was raised by all the branches. And ultimately that will be discussed today. I won't say which branches submitted, but please be advised that only 5 branches did. 6, sorry. 6. The proposed amendments, the committee met, I just want to say again, the committee met on a regular basis from being tasked with this responsibility. And we took it serious, and the comments that were provided were sent to us. We, in our deliberations, we also took them seriously. And so we'll be presenting them today. We'd also be reminded that there were some changes that were needed, like the setup, the format to make it workable, to make it realistic. Okay, so we went from beginning to end, and we made amendments as we deemed appropriate in conjunction with the comments that were made by the branches. Proposed amendment, I have to keep remembering that. Proposed amendment, because you have to vote on it. Okay? The first one will be on membership. And ladies, eligibility, 4.1, those presidents can look at what you've given them, plus those who have constitutions, they can look at your constitution. Now, one of the areas that we thought to amend was 4.1c. The Constitution at 4.1c says, new members are officially welcomed and blessed by the patron in May of each year at the anniversary service. What we try to also do is get rid of all the ambiguities. And we know we technically don't refer to our service on the Sunday before our conference as our anniversary service. We usually refer to it as our annual Thanksgiving service. So that was a small amendment that was made. Everybody's fine with that? Presidents, you're silent in the front. Okay. And the one, drum roll, that I think is of most importance to the body is the dress code. And I will say to you that having the response from the various branches, that pervaded throughout. Everybody was concerned about the dress code. So at the end of the day, I'm hoping that we move forward with the proposed amendments. The present article reads, 4.3, all ACW members must wear white attire, and in bracket it has dress, at the annual Thanksgiving service. You see the disparity? It said, above it said anniversary service and then goes to Thanksgiving service. So we tried to clean that up. So at the annual Thanksgiving service, at corporate worship, and when representing the organization in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands and globally. White hats, white shoes, white hosiery are a part of the uniform, and slacks are not a part of the uniform. The Constitutional Amendment Committee thought that one, footwear is not a uniform. So we thought that to change the title, to ACW attire. And so that was an amendment made. And the proposed is all ACW members shall thank you very much, wear white attire at the annual Thanksgiving service, diocesan services, corporate worship, and when representing the organization at other liturgical services in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and globally. The attire should include a white dress or skirt suit with sleeves, a white hat or white fascinator, white shoes, and white hosiery. The code, hello, can I finish? Thank you. The code of dress is fully defined in the handbook for ACW attire, which includes details of appropriate dress, accessories, exceptions, and informal attire. That is the proposed amendment to the Constitution. Can I hear from the President, please? Is this fine with the President? Are you President, ma'am? I can't see. Okay. Which church you from, ma'am? Okay.
Thank you. Referring to the section of the proposed amendment, the code of dress is fully defined in the handbook for ACW attire. Where is that handbook?
That is an awesome question. And I will say to you, the handbook is coming. You know, we had a presentation on Monday, and the presentation was leading up to what would be in the handbook. We couldn't have the handbook out because we try and amend. Okay, so unfortunately, because I think the immediate past, then Evangeline, she had to work or something, and she was the chairperson, we switched. So that was the reason why the cart came before the horse. But it is forthcoming, and it will have the do's and the don'ts.
I just wanted to say that in preparation for conference, the handbook is already in draft. But we had to do some tweaking with yesterday's presentation. So once we would have completed today, then we can move toward finalization of all of these items as proposed.
Yes, ma'am?
We already have in the Constitution itself. So I just wanted to say that so the view is not that we need to see that in order to make a decision. because what you need to pay attention to is the wording of the actual article, which specifies the dress code that will be elaborated upon at a later date. Just to put in, the checks and balances, like for instance, if we say hat, if there are any specifications there, fasteners, if there may be specifications in terms of sizes, and with the dress code, what kinds of dress, how loose fitting, the shoulders ought to be covered. Obviously, you wouldn't want to have that in the Constitution itself, but the purpose is to have that in the handbook at the later date, and that's what we're going to be focusing on now.
Thank you, Madam President. Sorry, I have a question.
Good morning. I'm from St. George's. I just wanted to know, moving forward, the fascinator will be a part of the uniform?
I'm happy you said that because that's in line with President Williams was just saying. Let's focus on what is up here, not specifically what's in the handbook. It's both the article speaks to the handbook, but the handbooks will give you the details. The bottom line is that you're going to now be allowed to wear fascinators. Okay? So after consultation and after discussion, numerous discussion, we have decided that it may be in the best interest. It will, not may, it will be in the best interest for the council. I know there are some council members, I see their heads shaking, but listen, the majority seem to have spoken. We had persons who didn't. If you were invited to put in contributions, and if you were against fascinators, that should have been a contribution put in as well. So we know when we're having our discussions, that we will take that into account. President? Yes, ma'am, because they're the ones who are going to make the decision at the end of the day. We've given them the task. You can ask, I'll allow you to ask a question, but but your president has to make the decision on you.
Good. Okay, my question is, I don't always be lost. I'm kind of person. Based on yesterday's discussion about all that you're saying now, practically, all that you're saying now, just mentioned another thing, another session. Now, yesterday I was of the opinion, and I don't know if my opinion was correct, based on what was said, that fascinators are no.
That was how it was before the Constitution. That's why at that point, fascinators were, prior to today, fascinators were not a part of our Constitution. So she put the perspective, it's a proposed amendment to the Constitution. Prior to today, or even today, fascinators are not.
Okay.
Not time.
Place with hindsight in future. It will be well if you don't come today and say X, Y, and Z, and come back tomorrow, even suppose I get all that, I factor all that in, and come back on the heel of it to say something else. Because on August morning, everybody don't interpret like myself or others. I'm saying to you, I forget all that was fascinating yesterday because I know what you're saying. In future, please, for the like of myself, and I believe I speak for quite a few, don't come say something today, and shortly after that, hours after that, tomorrow, the next day, you say something different because you can't confuse the body.
Senator knows with due respect, yesterday with the presentation, Madam Immediate Past Control President explained we are going on what is in the Constitution
She
now.
said that.
Okay, she said what we are speaking about is the current dress code. We also mentioned that today's session we will speak to proposed amendments.
And I said that.
No. We have to be clear here. she spoke to the current dress code as it was. We did advise yesterday that we will speak to the amendment.